It's the Streetwise Kemist again, and I've got my assistant here, very capable assistant.
My name's Jamie Ann. Yeah.
Good. Yes.
Hi.
So we're back again. What we try to do here is explain things
Yeah.
in ways that we hope you can grasp and you understand. You know what it is about your medicines
Yeah.
and about your health conditions.
Very good.
So Streetwise Chemist, I do it in a sort of streetwise manner. How?
Mhm.
Yeah. Give us some comments if we're not doing it right. If there's anything that I haven't explained well, we can get back and do a short one just to explain things. But come on, what are we talking about today?
Tell us
Let's
as
get
well
on
what
with
you
it.
want to see
You know, I
as
hate
well.
it when these YouTubers go on forever in introduction. Just get in there. Tell
Get
me what
straight
you want
to
to
the
talk
point.
about. Tell me what it is.
I want to speak about brands and generics.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, because a lot of the time I work in the pharmacy, and we get prescriptions, and sometimes we've got to order stock in. Sometimes we can say, okay, no, we can give this brand, etc., etc. That's what I want to
Yes.
speak about. I've
Yeah.
given us some examples here. When does it matter? When doesn't it matter? That kind of thing.
Things. Yes, yeah. So this is a big problem with many people, where especially when they're saying, oh, I want this particular manufacturer. So citalopram, I want it from Teva. I want it from Rolencom. It's a difficult one to understand. We always try our best to
Yeah.
give them what it is that they want, but the way the NHS is designed is such that you get what you're given.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, so the doctors are asked to prescribe generically because generic is, I don't want to use the word cheaper.
Yeah, it's not always.
It's lower
but
price.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's lower price compared to the brand. Why are the brands much more expensive? They've put in a lot of do you say research or research?
Research.
Okay, is that not American?
I
thought it's
don't know,
research.
maybe.
I don't know. Anyway, so they've researched on this drug to bring it to the market. So they are charging a premium to cover for their, research and development.
Everything they've done, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Whereas somebody else who's coming to do the generic, they have taken the same drug moiety, so the chemical, the effectiveness, with the same effectiveness, and they've mixed it into their own different tablet. The tablet might be bigger or smaller, different color, but what is the ingredient in there is supposed to be the same. In fact, I'll go into that before we get anywhere.
Okay.
So the European Medicines Agency, EMA, and of course here we've got our MHRA,
Yeah.
for human medicines, that checks medicines to say, right, somebody has produced Panadol, which is the original brand of paracetamol. They've produced Panadol. Anyone else wanting to produce paracetamol, what are the conditions? Right, you must use the same chemical or chemical salt. It could be a different salt.
Right.
Like you have your amlodipine basalate and amlodipine like hydrochloride or something like that.
Tyrosine hydrochloride.
Yes, but sometimes it could be a different salt, but the active is actually the same
Yeah.
drug. Yeah, so it must be the same drug, that we're using in the same amount. So it's 5 milligrams. So we really wanted to give the same, and they give the gaps, so the limits to about 90 degrees of confidence for those who do statistics. They want 80% of the original or 125% of the original. So contrary to popular belief, the generic is not necessarily inferior. It could actually give the drug higher than the original. What are we talking about? There's something called bioavailability. Again, I don't think this is too difficult science.
No.
Right. So bioavailability is the amount of drug that actually goes into your bloodstream after you've taken it. Whether it's an inhaler, it's an injection, it's a tablet. When that tablet goes in, breaks up, disintegrates, dissolves, and gets into your bloodstream, how much of it goes in there?
Yeah.
You take 500 milligram paracetamol. You're not gonna get 500 milligram
Full
paracetamol.
500.
You probably get 400 and something, 450,
Yeah.
whatever. Yes, but so that's what they check. They say, right, your Panadol and the generic paracetamol, when people absorb it, how much of it are they getting?
Yeah.
It must be at least 80% to 125% of the original. Okay. So they test it in humans and say, right, so if they take this, yes, it's equivalent. And those are the levels of equivalence. But in practice, it's actually more like 5%. Because someone will think, oh, 80% and 125, that's very wide.
Yeah, it's a big.
There can be a difference, but not really, because when they register them, it's actually they're only different by about 5%. Now, even take 20%. Slim guy, fit guy, you know what I mean? I'm only like 73 kilograms. The next big guy, you know, proper man, you know, Anthony Joshua, whatever, 100 and something kilograms. But when it comes to paracetamol, we take the same dose.
Yeah.
He is more than 125% bigger than me. Yeah, but we take the same dose.
Yeah.
So this is what tells you humans, yes, we might have all these different sizes, but it doesn't really matter in terms of the doses. We take the same dose basically.
Yeah.
So if one manufacturer is different to the other by about 80%, it's nothing, because humans' sizes are not the same. We're not all uniform, yet we take the same doses.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it just gives you an indication to say this 80 to 125% sounds wide and different, but it's not. And in real practice, anyway, it's only a 5% different. And I tell you, the weights of people who take medicines up and down the country are much wider than that.
Yeah.
I wish I had the statistic for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So generally, these generics must give us the same bioavailability. The amount of drug getting into the system is generally the same for what we need to effect.
For it to do, yeah.
Yes. So if it is pain killing, we should get enough to reduce the pain killing. Okay. Because when we say 500, I take one tablet of
And
paracetamol.
you're okay.
And I'm okay. I was rolling all over the floor the one year. And the Wi-Fi says, the Wi-Fi says, says, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, take some painkiller. Because I'm one pharmacist who dishes them out, but I don't want to
You
take
don't
the
want
drugs.
to take them.
Yeah. Then I took one paracetamol. Within 15 minutes, I was okay.
Okay.
I thought, whoa, this stuff works. You know. So you know, depends on what you've been exposed to and whatever. It depends what dose you take.
Yeah.
It depends on what you've been exposed to, but really, you know, we should be the same. So this really actually completes the discussion.
Wow.
Generics and brands are supposed to be the same.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, they're the same. But someone will come and tell you, this one works better for me than the other. That could be true. But what I believe is, if someone says, oh, this one gives me slight headaches or reacts to it, yes, because the ingredients, the other ingredients that are used in the tablet, that are used in the syrup, can be different.
Yeah.
So they can, although these ingredients that we use tend to be bland, you know, starch,
Yeah.
you know, magnesium trisilicate, lactose, which some people with lactose intolerance, but
Yeah.
the amount of lactose depends as well.
Yeah.
And they've reduced much of it in modern tablets anyway.
Yeah.
So the lactose in a tablet of cetirizine isn't going to be,
It's not going to
it's not
be
going to
enough
trigger lactose intolerance. You know, most of it is so tiny. So it is difficult sometimes to explain what people tell you about the differences in in how they feel from a manufacturer, because most of it, if we look at it, the science of it, we think, I don't know how that is doing it.
Yeah.
Especially when they say it's not effective. Like a lady was coming in, was getting some progesterone, you know, utrogestin.
Yes.
So the utrogestin stops my bleeding, the other one doesn't. Now that's a major claim to make.
Yeah, that's a big,
It's a major claim. It goes against all the rules of drug registration. We're saying they're the same, and you're saying this, and I'm saying, and I'm trying to explain to say, it must be a coincidence. There is no way that could be allowed to do. They couldn't register that drug if it could not do what it's supposed to do. Yeah, and we're talking about the UK. Elsewhere in the world, we don't know. There could be some fake drugs. Fine, that can happen. But really, in the UK, the counterfeit problem is very rare to happen. So let's pick some examples.
Well, we've got here Elicon.
Yeah.
And then mometazole.
And mometazole.
Yeah.
Okay, those are two different ones. There will probably be nothing major there.
Difference.
Yes, in the difference. We don't know. All I know is when I worked, I like to mention this, when I worked in manufacturing, manufacturing, I know we used to make some betamethasone.
Yeah.
This is shout out Varichem Laboratories back in Zimbabwe. Yes, so we used to make, I think it was betamethasone. When they do the transdermal the absorption sort of tests,
Mm.
I think ours was actually getting better results than the original Betnovate.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I could get this wrong, but I'm giving it as an example.
Mhm.
It was actually getting better,
Results.
results. Yes. So again, generic doesn't necessarily mean inferior to the
Yeah.
brand.
Yeah.
When tested, it could actually perform better
Yeah. Because
than the original.
With things like this, like
Yes, but it's more
the
expensive.
brand will cost more,
Yes,
so it must be better.
it must be better, but no.
not necessarily.
No, not necessarily. This is why the European Commission says 80 to 125%. The copycat could be 80% of the original, but it could be 125 of the original, and that's allowed.
Okay, so I just want to quickly, before we move on to these other ones,
Yeah.
if I was prescribed mometasone ointment,
Mhm.
and let's say this wasn't in stock, and you have this on the shelf,
Mhm.
why can you not give me this? But if I was prescribed this ointment, you
Yeah.
could potentially give me this.
Yes, but strictly
depends on
speaking,
certain
with the
things,
NHS
doesn't it?
rules, if it says mometasone, you can get either.
Yeah.
But of course, because of the cost of it, if this one is higher, and what the NHS depends on how much the NHS is preferred.
Yeah.
If in the drug tariff, the price for the generic is based on this one, then you get that.
Then
You can get that or you get that. But where it's not, it's based on this, and then you want to claim to say I want that one. It's
Yeah.
like going into Tesco and saying I'm wanting Gucci. It's not going to
Yeah,
happen.
it's not.
Sorry.
It's not gonna happen.
Right. And the next one, yeah.
These ones, we see these quite a lot on dental prescriptions, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Again, these are toothpaste. There
Yeah.
shouldn't be any major
Any.
difference in there.
Yeah.
It's giving the same amount of fluoride, so it should be
Obviously,
straightforward. That
Colgate is quite a well-known brand.
brand,
Not
yes.
even just in pharmacy, just in general.
In general, yes. We grew up with Colgate, who did it
Yeah.
worldwide.
Yeah.
Even us who were in some bushes somewhere.
But you can see there, 0.619%, 0.619%. So
Okay.
they are the same
So
thing.
it should be same stuff.
Yeah.
The taste could be different. So if you come
Okay.
in and say, I don't like the taste of that, fair enough.
Yeah.
But don't tell me this one works better than the other.
Yeah, it's not like that.
That's difficult to argue. All right, next one.
These ones here. So this is monomil, and then this one is Kemist.
Yeah. Yes. Now this is a difficult one. This is isosabide mononitrate.
Yes.
Okay. These are supposed to dilate the blood vessels of the heart, and we give them for angina.
Yeah.
So people with pain, on exertion, on the heart, special diagnosis, so they get isosabide mononitrate. But these are different manufacturers, and they have modified release. So the extended release. So this one says XL, and this one says what? XL as well. Yeah. So they're modified release. So quickly going into drugs, how they work how they behave
Yes.
when we take them. So a standard tablet, when you take it, goes in there, absorbs water, bursts,
Yeah.
disintegrates, gets dissolved, gets into solution, and then gets absorbed.
Yes.
Yeah. Usually that starts really in the stomach, small intestine, and then by the time you go to the large intestine, everything has been absorbed.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. With the slow release, it depends on how the matrix, if it's a matrix, is made. So it can be designed to start releasing the drug whilst in the stomach, in the small intestine, and maybe even before, because the large intestine is not good for absorption.
Yeah.
Even when it gets to the large intestine, it still has got something which is producing. Yeah. So it's a slow release.
Yeah.
That's how they design the slow release. Okay. We can go to the enteric coated, on another day. So the slow release preparations are much more difficult to match against
Okay.
each other. Yeah. Because how they release the drug over time can be different. But what matters is, have they produced the same amount of drug over that time? So what we
Right.
call the area under the curve. So as long as they're dishing out the same drug at the end of the day,
Yeah.
to those limits that we've said,
Yeah.
but the actual how it's releasing can be slightly different.
Okay. So
Yeah.
will that have released the same amount in 12 hours as what that one has?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So generally they should qualify to do that. But
Okay.
the actual release profile can be different. Okay.
Fair
So
enough.
slow release ones. But for general standard tablets, it shouldn't really matter.
Okay.
Okay. So brings us to these. Lamotrigine, I think I would like to get these as well next to them. So these here, again, 80 to 125 for all different people. It shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
We know now, even some specialists have said, so stick to Tegretol. Yeah. But again, I tell you, I need any specialist to come and argue with me there to say they have checked that the bioavailability of this one is superior to that.
Right.
Or vice versa. I think what we're trying to aim for is just to say we want the consistency.
Yes.
Yeah, just in case.
Across,
But surely if that person with epilepsy, if the epilepsy is well controlled to good margins, that shouldn't matter.
Okay.
In fact, we have proved it many times. When Tegretol has been shut out of stock, what do you do then? There is no Tegretol throughout the country. We can't get it. What did we do? We gave that. Did we get any more episodes of seizures? Not necessarily. Okay, so some of it is just psychological, and is psychological not only to patients but even to the prescribers. Yeah, because of the lack of grasp of really how these things work. I mean, there could be, if you show me some evidence to say Tegretol has been shown to be more effective than that one, then fine. But they wouldn't register them. This is what we said.
Yeah.
The European Medicines Agency wouldn't have registered them. So generally, they should have almost the same bioavailability. Of course, it depends. If one patient could be more stable on that than this one, if they were delicate. But to me, that's more indicative of what doses we're using.
Yeah.
Are we using a high enough dose? We shouldn't be on the margins that they miss a dose and then they get a seizure.
Yeah.
So if we're giving a good enough dose anyway, then the differences between the manufacturers should not be a factor. Next.
Well, is it that the same with this?
Yes, lamotrigine again is used for the same.
Yeah.
So again, the same argument applies.
Okay.
Yes. Now this is a good one.
Yeah.
Many people have problems
this,
with
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thyroxines. Yeah. So levothyroxine, T4 for those in chemistry.
I wouldn't have known that.
Yes. Yeah.
So we've got the Accord brand.
And
I
you've
think
got
is
that
that
brand.
Teva?
Yes. And what is surprising with these, sometimes they'll say, I want this one or the other, but when you look at the manufacturer, it could be produced by Teva, but under the license of Accord.
Yeah. Sometimes they have the address, and it's the address that's on the other brand.
Yes, because they can subcontract each other to manufacture these things under the same formula.
Yeah.
But again, sometimes you find somebody say, no, I want this one and not that one. It's very difficult to explain. I think the MHRA have actually said as well, try to speak to the same manufacturer. But again, there are many times where you're trying to stick to the same manufacturer, there are shortages in the market. People end up being forced to use the other.
Yeah.
So to me, that argument again is very difficult to make. And these ones here, we spoke about bioavailability. The bioavailability of, let's say, the tablets compared to the liquid is about 93%. So generally, these tablets, when they go into your body, you almost absorb the same. Yeah, and these are very tiny tablets. And the one other good thing about levothyroxine is it's got a very long half-life. It's got a half-life over like maybe 21, whatever. So it's very long. Yeah, so it stays in the body for that long. Although people, it can be sort of narrow therapeutic range in that people will feel the differences in their thyroxine levels. If it's really down, they could be down.
They'll know it,
But from one dose to another, if you miss a dose, it's not a big worry because it stays in the body for that long anyway.
Right.
So to then be able to feel the difference between manufacturers, I don't know how it happens. Unless somebody tells me this gives me a bit of a headache or whatever, then maybe it could be the ingredients. But in terms of the actual active ingredients, it's very difficult to explain scientifically what people experience. But of course, if someone says this is what they want, we try to give them that. I won't force them. I'm just not able to explain it to you, to say what is happening, what's causing these differences. And there are no big studies there that can tell us to say, if we gave them the tablets, they were not marked and they didn't know what they were. Without the embossment, without the packaging, we gave this and that. Could they be able to tell
Would
the
they know?
difference?
Yeah.
That would be interesting,
Interesting, yeah.
to see whether people can actually feel the differences
Yeah.
in those. Okay, but we will give people what they ask for.
That one's a bit trickier though, isn't it? Like if the doctor's prescribed Tegretol, then
You have to
fine, we
give
can
Tegretol.
we can just put on our order pad Tegretol,
Yes.
or we can just put in carbamazepine.
Yeah.
But with this one, you just type in levothyroxine,
Levothyroxine.
and you don't know
You
what
can
brand's
get
going to
anything.
come, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and because they're not really that big, that the what they call the DMD, the director of since the directory that we use, does not necessarily distinguish between the manufacturers.
Yeah.
It will be just levothyroxine.
Yeah.
So you have to, depending on trying to write some notes on the thing on the patient, but those notes now with the scanning system that we have,
Yeah.
you often miss. So
Yeah.
people will get. So what we encourage people to do is, when you get the medicine, before you leave the pharmacy, open it up, check. If it's not the right manufacturer for you, we can try to change it.
Yeah.
But once you've left the pharmacy, you cannot bring back,
Yeah.
because that medicine cannot be used on another person, because we can't guarantee the
Yeah.
integrity of the medicine thereafter. Okay, is it a wrap?
I think that's done.
I think that's it. Nice and short.
Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye bye.